Davey, how much are you looking forward to rounding off the season, hopefully on a high?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Rangers, to be honest. It's always a good game when they come here. They're obviously the champions, and there's the opportunity to try to be the first team that potentially beat them. So really looking forward to the challenge, but it's not going to be an easy challenge, to be honest. I was hoping they were still in the Scottish Cup and they played on Saturday, but they've had a wee bit of a rest, so it's going to be really tough.
You've had a couple of close games against them, certainly at home anyway. Does that give you a bit of belief that you can be the team to do it?
Yeah, why not? I don't think Rangers will fancy coming here. I think Stephen said that previously in his press. So, but again, you fancy your chances against anyone at home, Sheila, and they'll have a lot of players that are going to be to the championships in the summer, I would imagine. So maybe that'll be in the back of their mind. But really, really looking forward to it. It's always a good game of football, and I think they've got fantastic footballers. And even as an opposition manager, sometimes watching these players play is it's brilliant, and it's a good learning curve for our players.
And if you get something, it would set up nicely for the weekend as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, going on to St Johnstone, try to take one game at a time, to be honest, but St Johnstone's an absolutely huge game for both clubs. So, yeah, it sets it up for the following weekend.
Was it good to see Hibs getting to the final? Still leaves that option of Europe there for you?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, I got asked for my Manager of the Year nomination last week. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, Jack's kind of flew under the radar. There's not a lot of people talking about Jack Ross. And for me, Steven Gerrard winning the Premier League probably got to be the one because it's broke Celtic's domination. Callum Davidson getting to 2 cup finals. If Callum wins the 2 cup finals, and then you're looking at Jack Ross, who's took Hibs to third, the best of the rest, and he potentially could lift the Scottish Cup. So for me, there's some, with Callum and Stephen, I've got 2 big games coming, and it's against 2 clubs that are in fine form.
Is that important, still having something to play for? Obviously, that 5th place going into the last couple of games of the season.
Yeah, I think it is having something to play for, because a lot of that's us down to 3 training sessions left, and you know the boys are talking about it. You know, it's been a difficult season. Like, COVID has made it a difficult season. I think you would testify to that as well. It's just been a wee bit more difficult than normal, and I think everybody's looking forward to getting the break. So I think these games allow you to bring the focus back to the group, opposed to the focus being trying to get away for the end of the season. So the boys have trained really well today, and are all looking forward to the game on Wednesday.
In some respects, I know not wholly, but in some respects, is it a kind of a season you'll maybe be happy to see the back of, just in terms of getting back to a bit of normality, hopefully next season with fans back in and getting things back to normal?
Yeah, I think getting fans back in is absolutely huge. I don't think for a club our size, if it went on any longer, I don't think it would be sustainable for us, if I'm honest. But just getting fans back into the stadium is going to be brilliant. It's going to be absolutely huge, and I think it's going to add to the atmosphere of football. I think now you can see, I think every team that's played in empty stadiums have done extremely well. But I think bringing fans back in is going to add to that for next season. It brings a lot of excitement back to football, and I just hope the percentage of fans that are allowed in the stadium is going to be realistic. I hope it's not going to be a low percentage. I understand that safety comes first, but I hope it's not going to be something along the lines of 20%, and we kind of drip feed it back in, which kind of I think will lose the momentum from the fans returning to the stadium. I'm looking at other countries and 70-odd thousand people at games and different events in America, games in England. So I really do hope that it's a realistic percentage that's allowed back into games. That makes a difference to football clubs and the atmosphere within the stadium.
Dave, you got a good pre-contract signing last week. Do you have any more up the sleeve that you're hoping to get over the line soon?
Got a couple. Going to try and get my work done early. We do every year, to be honest. But going to try and get my work done early. So predominantly looking at the English market, to be honest with you. And I'm dealing with a couple of Premier League clubs in England, and now about a couple of loan deals. And I've got a couple of players on the radar that's played a lot of league football in England. So yeah, hopefully something that will materialise over the next two weeks, especially with League One and League Two in England finishing.
Obviously, you obviously beat Premiership clubs to the signing of Iowa. Is it becoming a wee bit easier to sell the club after the success you've had in the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, I would think so. Speaking to Big Isle, he said as soon as I knew you were interested, it was you fitted the bill, so to speak. It was a club that I'd heard a lot about, and he knows the way we play and he knows the standards we set. So it was quite an easy sell for him from his point of view. But I wish I'd found that out before I offered him his wages. But nah, I'm only kidding. But yeah, as it gets a wee bit easier, I'm now seeing. I've been contacted by, I'm not wanting to name the clubs, but a few of the top 6 clubs in England who are now wanting to work with Livingston. They've actually contacted myself, so that's a fantastic opportunity for Livingston Football Club to try and manipulate over the next 2-3 seasons.
Is that obviously they've seen the progress of the likes of Linden, Declan Gallagher, all those players? Is that just?
There's a couple of them came on the back of Football Focus. I seen you on Football Focus. I seen the club, and then they maybe do a little bit of background on the football club and how well we're doing. So, and again, they will look into Declan Gallagher's and Lyndon Dykes, no doubt. So, it all stands us in good stead for the future.
All these hundreds of press interviews were worth it in the end, David, to get you.
It was 100 press interviews, but I don't think any one of them were different. I just said the same thing every interview.
Just any team news ahead of the game, David?
No, nothing new. No new injuries. Gavin Riley's back running, but he'll be nowhere near the game. But it's good to see the progress that Gavin's making. Robbie McCrory's got a niggle, so Robbie's going to probably miss the next 2 games. And that's really about the size here. I have nothing else really to report on. The squad's quite thin as it is. So, no new injuries and nobody else coming back into the squad.
Okay, cheers. Yeah.
Davey, you mentioned on Friday how much the kind of playing budget relies on where you finish in the league. You always plan for finishing sort of 10th. Is that stopping your plans for next season, determining whether you're going to finish in Europe or not? Or are you already kind of well into that, and that will just be a kind of added bonus? You might be able to bring 1 or 2 extra in.
The budget's still on finishing 12, so it's roughly £1.23 million. So that's roughly the budget I'm given to work with. Finishing higher up in the league obviously is just going to plug a black hole that we've lost for fans, and until we get some kind of indication of when fans will return to the stadium, I can't see my budget changing, if I'm honest, because the club's lost a lot of money this year. I think we're roughly around £2 million. You've also got to then go and look at the COVID testing. If we have to come back next year and we're still spending £3,000-4,000 a week in PCR COVID testing, that's something that's going to have to be accounted for. So there's a few different variables that the club are waiting on. One, fans coming back into the stadium and what percentage and when. And secondly, are we going to be PCR testing? Are we going to be lateral flow testing? Or are we going to be testing at all? So there's a lot of different variables before we do the budget that we've got to wait from answers, for wanting a better word, from the Scottish Football Association and the Scottish Government. And
you just announced Livingston just announced the new partnership with the Football Coin. Will we be trying to do any transfer dealings in Bitcoin over the summer?
Yeah, I bought some, honest. Myself, that came in through myself. But they're paying for the back of the shirt in TFC coin. I've done a bit of stocks and cryptocurrency trading previously, before football, to be honest, and during football. So it's a wee bit of cryptocurrency, I know, digital currency. So we're going to hold on to it. The money that we've been given from it, we're going to hold on to it with a view to it probably, hopefully, rising in the past. So why not?
Let's hope Elon Musk invests in it.
Aye. Buy a Tesla with a
Cheers, Davey.
Cheers.
Excellent. Cheers.
Thank you.
All the best.
Best of luck. Take care.
Bye-bye.
John, how you doing?
Thank you.
We're almost there. What a season it's been, isn't it? How would you sum up how you've enjoyed this season or not?
Obviously the club's had another good season, which is always the aim at the start of the season. To get back-to-back top 6 finishes is a big achievement. Obviously, I'd be lying if I said it was as enjoyable as with the fans. It definitely does. You do miss that feeling on a week game day, but overall, no. Obviously, delighted to have another good season.
A couple of games left, and there's still something to play for. Does that drive everyone forward?
Definitely. I mean, some of these games at this point in the season could sort of fizzle out because there's no one to play for. But obviously, we're not in that position, so we're going to be right up for the final 2 games. Obviously, to turn around our form, which hasn't been the best recently. We know they're going to be 2 tough games because they're two very good teams, but obviously when you're in the top 6, you're always playing against the better teams. So no, 2 big games, but we're really looking forward to it, and hopefully end the season on a high.
The manager said it's quite an incentive to be the team that ends Rangers' unbeaten record. Is that something that the players talk about trying to do?
It is, yeah. At this point in the season, like I said, Rangers have had an amazing season, but if you're that team that can sort of break that run, it's something you can be proud of and you can remember. We've done quite well against them at home. Obviously, we were quite unlucky the last game, lost 1-0 and took a point off them the game before. So we know we can give them a game here. So yeah, if you could beat that unbeaten run, it'd be amazing.
Thank you.
Those performances must give you quite a bit of confidence that it is possible, especially when you get them at your own place.
Definitely. On our day, we know we're a match for anyone, especially at home, and I think we've shown that against them this season. So we can definitely take confidence from that. Just got to focus on ourselves, set our game plan, and stick to it. Like I said, we know obviously a top team have been the best team in the country by quite some distance this season, but we're confident we can get something off them on Wednesday.
Is it a strange kind of last week or so, sort of winding down to the end of the season, given that you don't really know what the summer holds and what next season holds with everything that's been going on?
Yeah, it's all still a bit up in the air, but as players, we've just got to focus on the next 2 games, and the rest will sort of take care of itself. We, as players, we don't think about that side of it too much, but hopefully next season can get back to normal a bit with the fans and everything, because it's definitely something as players that we've missed massively.
Are you really determined to get some points on the board this week? Because obviously you get the achievement of getting in the top 6, but you want to make it a positive experience as well.
Definitely, and it's something we spoke about. Taking the form into next season. If we can pick up a couple of good results now, you can look to take that into next season. Obviously, the results haven't gone our way since the split. I thought we were a bit unlucky last weekend whenever it was against Aberdeen. I thought we actually played quite well. Just sort of the way it's going for us at the moment. But no, definitely looking to pick up some points, because you want to end the season on a high going into next season.